Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This episode we're going to be talking about oil canning and how that applies to Model 3 batteries, which are notorious for having oil canning. If you don't know, in the past, oil was actually sold in cans, and when you have large flat pieces of metal, sheet metal particularly, it tends to have built up stress, and because it doesn't have anywhere to go, it will move from one area to the next. So over here I have a can of acetone. You hear that popping? What that is doing is that large flat area right here, because it doesn't have anywhere else to offload the stress, it pops between outside and inside, hence oil can. Now, Model 3 batteries, because they have not a whole lot of shaping on the top side, it's all flat, minor for where there's reinforcement ribs down the center, it has the same effect. When you go and you plug it in to charge at a high rate of speed, the thermal expansion causes the battery to oil can and pop. So you'll be sitting there at this charge station and you'll hear large, loud pops. That's actually the metal stress shifting from one area to the next. So let's see if we can find it on here. So right there, over here. So what those foam pieces on top were previously designed for is help mitigate some of that, but it is trash the way it is done. So we're gonna take sound deadening, and on these large flat areas, we're gonna put sound deadening. That way it attenuates the flex of that. So when it flexes it and it pops a metal, it will take and absorb that energy into the butyl rubber. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up on the surface and then start putting the sound deadening down. Alright, so we have this butyl material. This is a brand Silas or whatever. It's kind of mid-tier. It's not the good stuff. It is kind of middle of the ground. This stuff is 15 3/4 wide and it's 80 mil thick. From the standpoint of it being rubber, it is going to attenuate a lot of oil canning sound. Once again, metal clanking, it's going to attenuate it. So now that you guys heard it, we'll do a sound check afterwards to show you how much less this, or how much this reduces it. So we're going to do half the width, so 7 7/8 for the width. We're going to cut it in half, and that way we get basically 2 sheets will take up the majority of this. So let's go ahead and we'll take and do an inlay here as well, but let's take these, cut them in half first. All right, we have all the sound deadening on here. We're not gonna do the whole thing. This is gonna be plenty. So I already kind of checked it. Now, if you guys recall just a minute ago, what it sounded like, now what it sounds like now. You can hear just how much deaden it is. It is dropped down where it's a low tone. It is not creating that high pitch, that ting, ting, ting. So we got rid of the oil canning, and that's a really simple solution, especially given the fact that what they use from a factory is the underlayment that goes underneath your regular carpet in the car. Now, with this, with a butyl, it actually takes that energy and disperses it rather than just taking the top off of it. So this is gonna be much better now, and it's not gonna create that popping sound whenever it's charging or discharging or when it flexes. So that's gonna be it for this one. And then next, we're getting back on the chassis and working on that. Thanks for watching, guys.